I was at the gym. There was only a couple of people there. I had my headphones in when I noticed a guy out of the corner of my eye. I could see him in my peripheral vision, and I felt like he was looking at me for a couple of minutes or longer than he should have been. So I turned my head to look at him. I was right. He was smiling at me. He was pointing at my earphones as if he wanted me to remove them so he could say something. "Are you okay?" I asked him, giving him the benefit of the doubt, as it was a little weird, but he looked like he could genuinely want something. "You look so familiar. I think I know you from somewhere." I said, "No, I don't think so," so I put my earphones back in. I know this seems rude, but I was in the middle of quite an intense session and I wanted to focus. I wasn't rude to him though. I did smile and make sure I was polite. Anyway, about 10 minutes passed and I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was him. "Do you know Jessica Parks, by any chance?" said the man. Jess was one of my best friends. We got into a little conversation about he was actually at our Christmas do for work and he met us briefly, but we'd had a few drinks and I just couldn't remember. He helped me remember a couple of funny moments from the night and he seemed like a pretty cool guy in the end. Turns out my first impression was probably wrong. Well, at least I thought it was. He asked me my name and I told him, and he said he would add me on Snapchat. Anyway, I went home and had a quiet night. I lived by myself with my small dogs. We were just chilling. The next day went as normal. I got up and I went to work and I came home. It had just gotten dark and I was in the middle of making dinner when I heard a knock on the door. I checked the Ring camera. The person didn't bother ringing it. They just knocked. It was at this point that I was never more happy that I had a Ring camera. It was the guy who had introduced himself to me as Luke in the gym. He knocked again. I was really confused and a bit weirded out, so I spoke to him on the Ring camera, and I asked him how he found where I was. He looked straight into the Ring camera and said that Jessica told him. He thought I was really pretty. He was working up the courage all day to ask me out. "You don't just turn up on somebody's doorstep," I said to him, so I decided to phone Jess and ask her what the hell. She seemed confused as she didn't know what I was talking about. Alarm bells went off in my head. She asked me who it was and I sent her a screenshot from the Ring camera. He said his name was Luke and we met at the Christmas party, I said. She checked her phone to look at the picture while she stayed on the phone to me, and she gasped. "That's Stephen. He's lying about his name. He used to go out with my cousin and he's a real weirdo." She had to get a restraining order against him. I went back to the Ring camera and told him to leave. My heart was pounding. I told him I knew he wasn't who he said he was. I said I was calling the police, and he started to get really angry. He started to bang and kick the door. My dog was barking like mad. I was really freaked out at this point, so I called the police and went under the table. I was terrified. He was going to kick down the door, but after a couple of minutes, it stopped and I looked at the camera and he was gone. The police turned up and I gave them a statement. And it turns out that he probably found out where I lived from my location being on Snapchat, which is really stupid of me. This was one of the weirdest and scariest experiences of my life.